The National World War I Museum and Memorial is the only museum in the country that is dedicated to the preservation of objects, personal experiences, and the history of the First Global War. Since it opened its doors in 2006, the museum's exhibitions and programs have attracted over 2 million visitors to the museum. Here to talk to us about some of the activity that has drawn so many people to the museum and to Kansas City is President and CEO, Dr. Matthew Nat'l. Dr. Matthew, thank you for having us here.
Well, we're glad that you're here.
And thank you for talking to us about all of the activity that's come up. You were recently named by TripAdvisor one of the top 25 museums in the country, and this is not your first time on that list.
You're right. There's more than 35,000 museums in the United States, and we're really proud that for the third year running, TripAdvisor rated us in the top 25. And really this is driven by folks who visit to the museum. We're the #1 visitor attraction on TripAdvisor for Kansas City. But it speaks to the vision of the people of Kansas City when they first imagined this place, when it was built in the early 1920s. And then this revisioned museum that you see today, as you said, which opened 10 years ago, absolutely a world-class institution that the people of Kansas City created. So we're honored to be named by TripAdvisor as one of the top 25 and as the top visitor attraction for Kansas City.
And you also have much programming that is around the commemoration of the centennial of World War I. Can you talk to us about some of the programming that is currently happening that's related to that?
Our work is to interpret, understand, and remember the Great War and its enduring impact. And we have a particular responsibility during this global commemorative period. And 1917 to 2017 is the beginning of the 100-year commemoration of the US entry into World War I. So our exhibits around this time really focus on what happened 100 years ago and the enduring impact of that.
I think the museum is known for such dynamic partnerships that you have with collaborations that you probably wouldn't automatically associate with World War I, and the Truce Tournament is an example of that. Can you talk a little bit about Truce Tournament and when it happens? And it is supported by the Neighborhood Tourist Development Fund.
In 1914, it said that around Christmas time there was a truce that broke out for about 24 hours in a number of areas across the Western Front. And what happened was that in amongst all this terrible fighting and bombardment, there was a moment where the troops just a couple of 100 feet from one another began to sing Christmas carols. They began to share things with one another. They in fact came to no man's land in the in-between, the trenches, where they then were able to exchange some gifts, sing together, and it's said that they even played soccer. And so to help talk about this story and engage people in thinking about this remarkable moment where people were able to put aside such profound conflict and instead just find peace, if only for a few hours, we partner with Sporting Kansas City, and we have the Truce Tournament on Boxing Day, or December 26th. It's a wonderful day where on the South Lawn here we have about 30 soccer teams playing soccer. On the inside we have beer and eggs. It's a big day for the European soccer matches, and so we have TV set up, and those are broadcast live here in the museum. And it gives us the opportunity to be able to talk about something that happened, this extraordinary Christmas truce of 1914, to audiences that would otherwise not think about World War I. And of course then talk about the implications for today. And so we're grateful for the support of the Neighborhood Tourism Development Fund, which really supports that and other programs that we have, which are bring in very many varied audiences. And another, I think, fantastic collaboration that we have is Operation Warfare, which is a food cook-off. And so some of the local restaurants in town, we feature them in the auditorium where we have the Allied and the Central Powers, and they are given certain ingredients and some World War I rations, and they have to create a 3-course meal which is judged, during which time there will be some lecture or a quiz or different mediums that we use to engage a very full, overflowing audience in learning about food and World War I. Really a very exciting, fun program. We've had really interesting collaborations with small businesses, foundations, arts organisations around town to think about the impact of World War I and its continued bearing upon today.
So if anybody would like more information or to catch what's happening that's coming up, where would they find that information?
The very best place to go is to our website, theworldwar.org. And we have all of our programming and exhibition schedules are listed there. And we have a real diverse array of programming, so you want to check there regularly. And the second best thing to do is to sign up for our newsletter. And each month, just once a month, get a newsletter that lists the upcoming programming. And because we have such variety for all sorts of different age groups and interests, it really is an ideal place to learn about how you can engage in learning about the enduring impact of World War I.
Well, thank you, Dr. Matthew, for all that you do here at the museum and for attracting so many people to the museum and to the city.
Well, we're just so thrilled to be partners with the city and the people of Kansas City, and really one of the world's great museums here. It's a reason for the folks to be very proud because of what they created. So thank you, and to the people of Kansas City for your support.
The Neighborhood Tourist Development Fund supports local nonprofits that bring cultural, social, educational, and recreational activities to our area. To learn about additional upcoming events, visit kcmo.gov/NTDF.